being live streamed. There we go, sweet. There we go. I can't remember if I put it as listed or public to check. And I have no idea how to check that. But hey, happy Easter, guys. Good to see you all.
Happy Easter.
We've got the inner circle on board today. The
inner circle.
The hardcore.
The hardcore.
So it was really interesting. I guess I'll open up with, I'm in Coolangatta. Left Brisbane, told you guys this, and another B&B, spent some time with Ellie. Obviously, long weekend with kids, working from home ain't pretty, so thought I'd mix it up a bit down here. It's pretty sweet. There's a lovely arch behind me, which signifies this is a nice space. And figured the thing I really want to open with, and we'll get into some strategy stuff, a little bit of a mindset piece, but it's like everything. And this is great. And it's where after, we get you more and more consistency with leads and sales, it's then moving into delivery. And this is important as well, is you can see this with your clients, even if you've only got a couple, or you can see this in potential clients and with leads. And I'm going to be a stickler with it. And we got it on record for all the people who didn't show up. And there's no right or wrong. Like literally it's your life. And if it's working, like if you want to smoke cigarettes and do cocaine, if you're happy with that, do it. If you want to have, not that this isn't maybe comparable, not to compare. If you want to have Wednesdays off, or if you want to work 365 days a week, but only for 2 hours, it's like, there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong. It's, as your coach, I'd be like, well, what's sustainable, and is it in alignment with who you want to be, with who you said you are? That's really the bottom line is, are you living more and more and more towards a true target, and are you getting the results you want? And so, like for me, I want to make sure every Sunday that I get my time to me, that I'm rested. And, you guys know, I've moved house. I've had a lot of flux, and I've still been showing up, still been doing deals, still been providing to clients, extra, honestly. When the pump's on, I actually find I come out swinging, even more. And it gives me that excited drive, it activates things. And that's why I could stay, with the fam and try and make it work and work around the external. But no, that's not what I'm really about, or what I'm suggesting is, if you know what works for you, I think that's really what life's about. It's about working out, what works for you. And so, like, this is the second time it's happened in the two most busiest times of the last 12 months. Is I'm pretty sure I've got every symptom of COVID you could, and everyone, Alice and Ellie, they've had it, and it's knocked me for absolute six. I've had it for nearly a week now, and it's been shit. And I want to just put this out there to be like, what it's taken is an extra level of commitment. I'm not saying like if someone, because everyone experiences pain, trauma, sickness, injury differently. What I've found out, and this is just for me, and I think everyone on some levels like this, it's just we all have different settings, like defaults in what we know we can tolerate or are capable of. That doing the things that I said I was going to do, unless I'm literally like got a broken leg or something, after I've done it, I feel better. And honestly, being on this call, it's the first call I've had with clients since Thursday. I think that's right. because I had that time off, and this is honestly the best I've felt because it's gotten me moving, it's gotten me into momentum, it's got me looking after myself more than I can just take it easy and relax. But sometimes you need to take it easy and relax and feel it. I also thought I could change the call. Maybe there'll be more people on, but last minute stuff, things like that, I don't like doing that. And this is great for like how to run your life, how to run your business, and how to make decisions. It's purely from like I want to help because that's what we're here for. And because I know this type of conversation could get avoided in terms of leadership and could become interpreted as like, and sometimes people feel guilty and they project it when there is no judgment or right or wrongs. Like, you know, for all you lazy people, you know, who aren't on the, it's like, it's not like that. It's like, because sometimes I think, oh man, maybe you're pushing and hustling too hard. And it's like, if it gives you energy, if it makes you feel better, do it. And a lot of the time, like we can only use so much motivation until like you actually have to kick in the discipline. I want to say massive well done, you know, that if this is the priority for you, that you're on the call, no matter what's going on in your life. Like sometimes you just might feel like shit. You might think, oh, I just can't deal with a call like that. It's in those moments, like that's when I hound my mentors. I'm like, I want an extra call because I want to go deep, like, and it's not to go like harder. It's like connect to my goals, my vision, my support. You know, if I've got the energy to, you know, have a conversation with my partner, I can connect with you. You know, it doesn't take energy. And I think that's the key message here is in the field currently, there's a lot of misconception around energy. Once we become leaders and really step into that leadership position, it's because that's the ultimate strategy is energy. And I promised that this would be a strategy call. The ultimate strategy is energy because, you know, if you've got no energy, but you've got the best team, you know, the best strategies, it's like nothing fucking happens, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So like when we can know our process, especially on the days, like I realized, oh, fuck, I reckon, I even had a feeling, you know, a few people, close contacts. I can't be bothered getting tested because what's it going to change for me? I still got to look after myself. I've still got to work. I still want to work. I still want to look after myself. I still get to do the things I love. It might just feel a bit harder getting the engine started. So, and there's a really big thing. It's like, are you living around what's happening out there or are you setting the tone? Because how we do the one thing is how we do everything. And it could be a really, really tough lesson. But once we get over this, because the more responsibility we take on, the more clients, children, whatever it is, team members, this is the stretch. And I would propose that that's why this is happening. It's like a stretch test. It's like what's your capacity and how much tension can you hold and stretch to within like a feeling of crisis? And can you see that if you have a process that you like, that you love in life and business, see, I know I love talking to you guys. I know I love doing this. And when I feel like crap, I'm like, but I do love doing this. Yeah. Like I do love talking shit with these guys, helping them make money, making their lives better and seeing them smile and, you know, and balancing that out with seeing my daughter laugh and cry and seeing Ellie and the ups and downs of relationship and life. And, you know, like it's all good fun. It's like it's knowing when to sort of pendulum between the things, especially with work and personal. It's not about, and this is great for you, Paige, it's pretty fucking hard to get a 50-50 balance. And I don't know if I want perfection anyway. It's about, and write this down, Paige, the book, The One Thing. That'll be, and for you, Sarah, actually, everyone, fuck it. The One Thing, it's top 10 books, I reckon. I think it's Gary Keller, The One Thing. He talks pretty deep on like how to get your personal life set up first, just like I suggested with like Trello and all those things in your calendar. So then you can actually block out, well, this is how much time I can afford to work without it affecting how much time I have to work. Like I can do a 15-hour day, but the day after I might be like, that was pretty good, let's do it again. But like usually 5 days later, it's like a come down. It's like the energy drain. It's just not sustainable. it's good to know I can do that every now and then. If you know, I'm going to move house, I might as well just do it all in one day, but not 15. Just like maybe 5 to 7, something like that. And it's high energy work. But through this share, I guess I'm saying it's like, are we building structures outside based on what we want on our, like, because simplicity comes from authenticity. And the closer I get to working out my $1 million daily, weekly, monthly routine, right, the simpler things get, especially when I'm like, I could totally just quit and not show up and, you know, have, you know. So it's quite a miracle energy. It's quite surprising, and be open to being surprised that, you know, for me, this is my thing. Oh, Belinda's on. Legend. See, she was, see. Oh, all right. Sweet. You definitely go back and watch that, Belinda. So I love to have Sunday totally for me. Like in the mornings, it might be a quick family thing. You know, if I stay with Elle and the kids, I've found, you know, Thursday, Friday, out, maybe Saturday, but definitely out by Sunday. And that's a bit of, that in and of itself is a structure. There's an internal decision and communicate what makes me feel good, what's good for them, is that they need their Sunday too, probably. And it's like, well, what's the priority? We've discussed that. What's the top priority? It doesn't mean there aren't other priorities. If I was to change the Monday, then my whole week would be out. Like, because I thought about it, because John, you said it's just, you know, same for me, business as usual. I'm like, well, we're business owners, and everyone, like I said at the beginning, you get to pick your work day. I've picked it. It's the key day, the core days for me, Monday to Thursday. I'll still be working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I love it. I might do half an hour or an hour, or, you know, check in, or just leave it. Definitely get on a call if someone wants to do a, you know, do a sales call, or, you know, for sure. So I think looking at that, it's like, are you then living on your target? Are you sticking to your target? Because like, if you're not, that's generally where the friction will come from in life. Like anywhere, like if you say you want to have a 6-pack and you don't, you're going to have shit hit your door. If you don't care about that, then it doesn't matter. If it's just living in alignment, and that's getting us from the effect end of things to cause. Ultimately, getting on a true target, a true life target, it's getting off other people's goal plans, living at the effect end of things, coming to cause, to creator. And I believe that in the morning, when we wake up, that's the key thing we need to activate to get infinite energy, or as much as access to it. It's infinite, it's just how much access we have to it. That making sense? And I guess, because I'm like, you know, this morning at 6 a.m., I'm like, you know, like, man, this has got to be some, you know, because the funny thing is, the more people are like, I got COVID, I got this, it's like, maybe I should complain about it too. You know, the more I hear like how hard things are, the more I think maybe I'm not sharing enough about how hard things are. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to focus on, hey, great Sunday, great people on the call, sun shining, whatever you can find. Baby at work day, awesome, like it's working. Even if that wasn't the plan, I know you're putting things in place, right? Like just being here, Paige, Belinda, like, and if you're not on the call and you're having a great day, have a great day. Like, just find your flow. And if the most important part, I guess, other than all that's super important, it's if you aren't getting the results that you wanted, and you didn't in the last quarter, and you said you'd implement some new things this quarter, and you're not on the call, and you won't be, and then you won't be, and then you won't be, or if you have clients that do that, they're the ones that probably need the most support that you can get on a call with, message, offer extra support. Potentially they may need extra services as revenue, helps them make more money, gets them on a true target like that. It's kind of like yellow flags from a delivery point of view. And I don't do too much delivery stuff here at the moment, but I know you all would love to go deep on like, how can we be even better coaches? But you guys can already coach. You can already do, you know, and take photos and make, because Belinda's not a coach, kind of. I still think she is on some level. She makes memories, makes people's families, spread the love. But is that making sense? I think I've gone on far. Best takeaways from that. What are you taking from all of that, guys? You open up.
For me, it's designing my own life and being okay with it, and then also be willing to look at where I'm using that as an excuse to not do the things that I need to do too. So like, oh, I just want to relax like all day, and wait a minute, like, am I actually sending the DMs that I need to send? I'm actually doing the sales calls and the short calls. That's what I'm getting from that is design it how I want to get the most enjoyment and fulfillment so I can thrive, so that energy goes into my clients, and then therefore it feeds back into the business, and like this perpetual like Ouroboros of like feeding itself, like, yeah, make it better and better and better.
Yeah, man, I love that. Like every day, every week, every month is like just a better iteration of the last. Like it's just improvements and lessons, wins. Yeah, that's it. Oops, Sarah dropped out. Paige, any takeaways?
I think for me, like reflecting, the last 24 hours has probably been the hardest I've ever encountered in my entire life, and I'm still here. And I think it just made me realize that this is my priority. Like even though things are shit, I'm always going to want to improve myself. So whatever's happening in my own environment, I always want to set it up as though I can do what I want to do first. So
yeah, I love that. And is it hardest because like you're feeling unwell, or is it other stuff? Like
a lot of other stuff, a lot. But it's okay. I'm getting through it and prioritizing what I want to do first.
Yeah. What I've found is like you don't have to get it 100% every day. It's just you keep chipping away at doing the best you can, and over time it compounds. And the thing is, any type of process, any type of structure, something to follow, like a routine or a ritual, having them is sort of like the trick, like a trick to trick yourself out of whatever you're in, like to just a healthy distraction. If I can, I don't know what another word for that would be right now, but it's like, okay, I spent 4 days relaxing. Wasn't that relaxing? Because it wasn't really relaxing. I was thinking, you know, like lots of things going on. There were moments of deep relaxation. And then it was like, well, you know, how do you get started? Like, what's the first step? And I know like when there's, whether you're unwell or whether there's like other things going on, that's even in of itself a strategy and a structure. You know, and sometimes you know, maybe just not quitting means the next day is great. And I mean, I got to throw more caveats in here. Where it's like, hey, if you built the business to the point where, you know, you can, you know, like last month I did a couple of sales calls and then I went and had drinks with my mentor and did a 2-hour session. You know, we're doing mindset stuff at the pub. You know, like there's space, you know, to have some flexibility and to take the day off or half the day or whatever it is you want. But there's still a structure around that so that it's not just thrown away. So I think having a plan is sticking to the plan. You know, plans change as things change. So, hey, Sarah, you're back. Did you have any takeaways? Anything come up from the opening?
You're mute, Sarah, if you have you said anything.
Yeah. I know I'm mute. I was trying to think of something intelligent to say. Well, Ziggy started walking yesterday after I did Elon Musk's chart. That's about what I've done so far. So I was tuning into Elon Musk and how crazy he is, and how he wants to buy Twitter. And I was thinking, if he can buy Twitter, I can buy a house. And then I realized that sometimes people just need a push, like what Richie sort of does. And so as my little guy he always tries to stand. And I realized that he doesn't know how to walk. So I actually moved his legs and he just started walking. So out of 3 children, I've never seen any of my other kids start walking. I've always been a workaholic. But with Ziggy, I toned back my work recently so I could watch it. And so that's my biggest thing is I've changed enough in the last few weeks. I actually saw my child walks and I don't have to have another child.
Fantastic.
So yes, I've been using a lot of the tips that you give us, Richie. The main one being get your priorities straight. And after he started walking, I was like, that's it. Now I can go do my business shit. I was just waiting for my kid to walk so I wouldn't miss that moment. My biggest takeaway was just to rearrange things so that you're not half thinking about family when you're working.
Yeah. It's like the key thing, like if there was like an emotional pattern that as a practitioner, everything else sort of working with clients seems to boil down to it's you would have heard of the all or nothing pattern, which can lead to the hustling, pushing, burnout, drama, etc. Trading that up, like surrendering it, like, all right, I'll give this in for like an all in, all out. And that way it's like, look, even if I am feeling like crap, I know, even if I, on the wood here, even if like, I really, really something bad happened, but like, sometimes you just got to sit with it or an opportunity and you want to go and have fun, and you just go and do it, right? But even on the day that there's something amazing happening, still chuck an hour in to the thing that's the most important thing in your life. If it is, right? If that was a day you said you were going to do. And so it's kind of like all or nothing or all in, all out. It's like even today, I kind of love it in a way when I get sick because it doesn't happen often. This year it's happened twice in 12 months. That's the most I've gotten sick in like 5 years. It's kind of, so, but maybe not with all the emotional work I've been doing. So looking at that, what's interesting about getting sick is the deep healing and what it brings to clarity of like, well, what is priority? Because, there's a limitation to how long I can go today compared to what is the key steps there. Audio coming through still good? Okay, great. Got a bit of lag in the video. So, yeah, great. We've had a good chat. Tell me, going into like more action stuff now, like for me, I just look at my income goal and then I go, what's the gap for this month in new sales? Already hit it. All right, I could leave it and just wait till next month. Or I'm like, well, why not push the advantage? Like at least warm up more. I can keep busy with to-do list things, but I can keep busy with that stuff any day of the week, right? And who wants to keep busy when, maybe it's taken a lot to get into momentum, a lot more to get into momentum. And the interesting thing is, I think when you're in momentum, the longer you stay in it, the more it grows. People there's the concept that like, you can only be like discipline or motivations like limited. Like there's a finite amount of, and it's like, well, once you get in the zone, like when you're really in the zone and you just can go for hours. Yeah. Major lag happening. But the audio is working, right? All right. I don't know if it's me or if it's, all right. Well, so super distracting for some reason. It must be doing something to my auditory. Belinda, if you want to chuck anything in the chat box or turn your video on, by the way, let us know. The action pieces now, it's very simple to identify them. Well, what are you aiming for? What do you really want? It's the best question. What do you want? And how can you have it? What's the goal this week? And we're talking about business, because we're here to do business. What has to happen? And, you know, could you knock it on the head in 3 hours today and then be pretty much done for the rest of the week, probably, on the key thing? So even though I'll be moving around again in a couple of days, still house hunting, it's an interesting market. All of the fun and joys of that, it's kind of my least favorite thing to do. And I'm really, really trying to turn it into an adventure, but it's also going, it's really, just like when I left Adelaide, it's like, well, I've really got to be focused on the key things that are going to move the needle, because otherwise you get so distracted. And that's like income lead and income generating tasks. So, you know, for me, there's like, maybe there's some upsells, maybe there's some clients who need extra support, maybe there's a lead gen thing I know I've got to finish creating and then follow up, reach out on that. And I'm looking at my own personal list going, honestly, like if I just, it is mine. It is. I'm turning my video off. I just got a message saying it's my internet. Paid $900 for shitty Wi-Fi. It's fine. So this is it. We just roll with the punches. You go with the flow. Don't let anything get in your way. And when you know what the key things are, that'll get you to the next, you know, iteration, the next day, the next week, the next cycle. It's kind of fun, because you start realizing you're kind of having an influence on what's happening here. And it makes you feel better. It gives you energy. It releases trapped energy. If you're feeling sick or sore, it takes your mind off of it. It gets you going. It gets you connected to mission, to spirit, to yourself. Great yawns. And it puts you in you're taking charge. So what's really illuminating is going far out. Well, there's really only a few key things that will get me to where I want to go anyway. So maybe that's why I'm being challenged, or maybe that's why I'm being tempted to go and have a bunch of fun. Yeah. Distractions, dramas, shiny bright lights, all the same thing. Because if it's taking you away from mission, it's taking you away from mission. And I don't know about you, but I love my fucking mission. So, you know, yeah. So what are these things? And usually it's like, we all, 80, 90% of the time, we know exactly what it is. And in a business, and I know right now, it's usually a hard decision, or sales, lead gen or sales. So I'd be saying, hey, if you just put 1 hour towards it, what are the top 3 things you want to get done this week? Connecting you to your income goal, your growth of the business. Speak it out, chuck it in the chat box, and then we'll do a bit of a troubleshoot on anything strategically around that.
Yeah, for me, it's changing some of my content to be a little bit more positive. Get some more leads in from that point of view, and then send out more leads. So I've got 36 DMs I want to send out, and that I want to spend at least 2 hours on that, and then book in 18 short calls and then 9 sales calls.
Well done with the numbers. I love the clarity. Well done. You've massively just taken the confusion, the clutter, and any emotion out of it, and handled it. You've connected to it massively. Now you can just tweak the structure and the strategy, and you know, obviously feel your feelings and all that, and just use that to make better decisions. So
Totally.
Yep, fantastic. And so, what about the content? I think there was something there, maybe.
Yeah. So like, what I'm seeing right now is like, the same people are like liking my stuff, and I've sent them DMs before, and they haven't gone into like a short call. So I'm like, well, maybe my content is too negative. Like what I'm speaking to is too polarizing. So let me create some content that's a little bit more hopeful. You know, people want to feel. I'm assuming they want to feel the hope in their relationships, not like look at all of their shit. So it's like, well, what can you get out of like a positive relationship? What's there? Like what's available to you? So that's shifting that way.
What about it makes you think it's negative? This would be great for everyone.
Yeah. What about it? I think it's negative. Because it's critical of behavior. It's critical of behavior. It's critical of patterns of behavior. It's critical of trends in relationships around like parental upbringing and childhood patterning, and speaking to what therapists and psychotherapists have been speaking about for decades. So it's like there's this, hey,
Yeah.
this is stuff. This is the backroom conversations of the psychotherapist, and this is how it impacts your relationships. That's why I think it's negative, Richie.
Yeah, okay. So that's interesting because I take it back to what's working and go, the two people that you did sign up, I mean, do you remember or have a record of, and think about this, guy, you know, everyone here, like where your sales come from is the best clue of where the next ones can come from.
Right.
Right? Like that, like where did the last sales come from? Current clients who could have extra services, and how do I like to be sold? How did I purchase XYZ? Like those three things, when you go, okay, I've got to make some money, want to, you know, grow the business, you know, want to go on, whatever it is. It's like that, those three things. It's remember how you like it because it's built in your image, then you'll love it. And then the people you want to work with will love it. And then what's worked in the past. And is there any hot leads, warm leads around, any clients currently, old clients, things like that. Really easy to drum up business that way. And then once you get into momentum, it's almost like the universe cosmically goes, hey, well done. Here's some stuff you didn't even imagine was going to happen because you were looking for it instead of looking for COVID.
That's great, Richie. Yeah, I hear that.
And I'm saying this because I've probably got it again. And I'm the further we go on this call, the better I feel.
It's perfect that you mentioned that, Richie. Like I really hear that in the guy that I got. It was the post that I made was very unique, and I haven't made anything like that since, which makes perfect sense.
Well done. Yeah. You see, study that, recreate iterations of that. And here's a fourth tip, guys. It's survey your clients. The ones that purchase, especially the ones you really love working with, be like, you know how I'm always asking you guys questions? Like I don't know anything.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you guys are my ideal clients. I want to know what you guys like. You know, don't want to piss you off or piss the market off, you know, or push them away. I want to be like, okay. And yeah, super helpful. Those ones have been for myself. And yeah. One other thing for you as well, John, for everyone here. Other things we can do beyond that, sort of, if they're primary, this would be more supplementary, is thinking about, I'd actually go more specific into your example, John, that I'd be looking to see if you triggered these people into action, like, and by triggered, I mean like called out. Because some part of the market likes to be called out and shamed or embarrassed or told off. And that does take, I think, a lot of rapport with the market. And if there isn't rapport, basically that process is being polarizing. And you'll get part of the market whichever way you go, I guess. Like you'll trigger one part and not the other, or, you know, some people will be with you, some will be against. And then the rest of the work is really persuading the people in the middle. Yeah, some people love you, some people hate you just on surface value, and that's it. It's really the work is with the middle ground of going, all right, how do I, you know, build trust with the middle, bring them over to the dark side.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Because after I felt that, bro, that's perfect. And it felt like I feel like I'm losing contact with people. And I made like a testimonial post today as well. So like just doing all the things, and like I put a nice smiley picture of me when I'm feeling the most highest vibe, you know, and like that's me. This is me. Like I'm this guy that can trigger you into action, and Moz is a nice guy as well. You know, look at me, my smiley face, like love me. So that was there too. Yeah, it's
I trigger the shit out of people, so I've got to be very careful what I like, how I do it, because you'd all be quite the same, because there's so much power in your words and your presence. So that's why I generally don't just write random posts unless they're really positive. Like if there's any sort of like I'm all down for the like if I'm going to write something that's critical, basically, I will tailor the critical. I will generally be, and I'll sit with that. I'll be like, if I'm not hot for that the next day, then I know that was an emotional reaction, and I'm not in the game of reactivity. I'm here to respond and help. And I think, yeah, it's great to be in the energy of it, but if your plan was created from the energy of it, isn't that being in the energy of it? Like if you made like a month or a quarter long, like some people like, like I know people making 50, 100K a month that, I just save that for going live. Or at least 3 times a week, have a plan so that you don't ruin your market. Like have a plan. Maybe we need to do, that'll be the next piece, content plan. Okay, how to plan your content. And essentially, you know, does that make sense? And sometimes I see some posts with people, and I think this would be really important for you, John, with like, you know, that shift we had around going, what was it? When we did a bit of a one-on-one, and I was like, hey, just go the extra mile. Like you can see their shit. As coaches, you know, we can see people's shit, and when they don't buy, we're like, I can see your shit because you're not buying. Okay. Imagine that, but like take it another step back, reverse engineered into the lead gen content creation process of like, yeah, I can see it because I've been there, sort of thing, and I understand it, and I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to pull your pants down in public, but I'm going to sort of put my arm around and go, oh, your fly's undone.
Yeah, I love that analogy. Yes.
That'll work for you. I don't know about the women on this call, but like, I guess it's the same thing. It's like, hey, your button's undone. You know,
totally.
Your tag's hanging out, honey. Like, I don't know. If, like, I hate it when Ellie does that to me. I'm like, leave it.
Yeah, you got some side boob going on there. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. If I've got side boob going on, I want someone to tell me.
Yeah, great.
That happened with Alice yesterday. But yeah, so the key things there, it's like, if you're going to trigger people, don't re-traumatize them. Like, trigger them into action for sure. Like, but that's the goal, is trigger them into action, into positive action. Otherwise, you're just triggering, and you could do more damage. I think, yeah, a lot of gold there for you and everyone. The supplementary note, yeah, and put a big line under this, guys. The supplementary parts of this is then like long-term also, it's like having a content plan and a nurture plan. So the people that don't respond, like when you're getting started, 1 out of 10 people might actually make it through the DM, right? Which is why you need so many leads at the beginning, in theory, funnily enough, but that said, you know, I've been doing this for a few years now, so there is a, you know, an audience could rustle up a sale within 1 or 2 calls or messages. That happens all the time. But there is sort of some muscle memory in the business for that from the reps and sets. So that's why having some sort of a structure, a content plan, it's like, I'm going to do at least show up at least once a week would be great, you know? And then the nurture plan. We haven't talked about this much. What happens to all the people that are like a 3 or a 4 out of 10? This is where your email list, your content plan, and your free group, your giveaway downloadables, giving value, your community, building rapport and trust and relationships over time, adding new friends, just having friendly chats, you know, have at least, you know, a chat with at least 1 new person a week, because that's 50 a year. You know, you don't have to do it every day. And if you've got, you know, the free group could feel like a bit of doubling up, but if you're getting email addresses, you're actually getting an asset, which even if Facebook burnt to the ground, that's yours to keep wherever, whatever platform you go on. So we're sort of opening up to, there's content channels. So there's your wall, there's your free group, you might have a business page. They have different tones. Like if you're gonna be direct, I reckon the business page is great for being direct. Like, oi, stop fucking around and do your work, you know, whatever it is. Like that's where I'd say it, because you're actually like, not like that obviously, but like if I was going to say something, you know, very assertive, hey, if you're not making this a priority, then blah 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 blah. That's what a business would say. Like, and sometimes we can get too caught up being a business in the open, friendly market of our Facebook wall community. So it's good to mix in things on the wall. And then I like to think of the free group. It's kind of like the after party, you know, at your house. You make the rules. You literally make the rules. You get to decide who comes and goes and who's a bounce, who's a, you know, an expert at the party. It's a networking party, you know, like where you get to talk about anything you want. And the interesting thing is you can make it hyper focused on businessy stuff, but you're really trying to build community. Yeah. Like some of the, you know, preliminaries to the best deals I've ever done might be done over beers and oysters, or just a chat, Euros on the beach, you know, playing with my kids and their kids, you know, like think of that, but like an online version where you could just get on. There is literally no pressure. People get to know you and you're just talking shit, having a coffee, getting to know who's in here. And it's like you're taking the I'm the guru hat completely off. And every now and then, like once a week, twice a week, you're like, hey, by the way, obviously, because it's my group and I'm the coach or the photographer or whatever, here's my offer. Or here's my free value, which leads to the offer. And it's kind of like, you know how when you're walking through the mall, through a shopping center, and someone comes up to you with their hand out with that goofy smile, and they're like, hi, you know, and you're like, no, like I understand your job, and sometimes I stop. I don't anymore. But you get the point, right? Like it's like I respect them and how hard they're trying, and I'm just like, but it's kind of like you this is a public space. You're encroaching on my boundaries, you know, like not my, it's not how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to, you know, there's a time and a place and you get to create them. And that's why I go, if Facebook's a hybrid, you know, you can generate an email list, a community that you can interact with privately, publicly, and professionally. So unless you've already got Instagram pumping, I'd just be like, pick one platform, get it working, at least so there's some steady flow of leads and sales before you stretch yourself, because that'll only take a month to dial in if you're not stretching yourself. And so the nurture plan is, hey, all right, someone's come in from content because you've got a content plan, and then you get to the DM and they're like, no response, or yeah, I'm just not interested in that right now. It's like, cool, not taking that personally, even though you are the prize. It's not a personal thing. It's, are you in my free group, by the way? Hey, just send them the invite. In the response to the comments of your post, be like, hey, thanks for your comment. I've sent you an invite to my group. How about all those amazing posts you write? What if, I've seen this work very well for businesses, put your Facebook group or subscribe to a newsletter link, whatever it is, you know, in the first comment of your posts. You might know, you know, that works very well. Their name, Zach and Mark, John.
Yep.
They've got an interesting model, similar path as you in a way, like as a model. Maybe not, but you know the point with the content concept.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah. Backpedal. Fantastic. But like, there's just like 30 different things there for everybody, especially you, John, like that you can go and implement. And if any of you don't know how to do any of these things further, request the training here or in the group. Rich, how do we do it? I want more in-depth step-by-step. All right, cool. So nurturing, I think something like 3 to 5% maybe of the market are ready to buy right now. Half of them might never buy. And then like there's another 45% that you've just got to convince, something like that, over the next 90 to 180 days. And so that's why you don't need to reach out to the same people every day. It's why you have a hot list. And the group can kind of be like a great way to know, well, who's hot, because they keep commenting, they keep engaging, they want more. And that's when, beyond like, you know, we've discussed the sales process is part of the coaching process. Well, your content is before the sales process. It's part of it. It's part of the coaching process. It's part of the business process. Right. I'll just check the chat box now. Sarah, clear out book contract stuff, tax sales targets, launch next course. Okay. And yeah, that was you who asked the question. Go for it.
Cool. So I have felt reluctant to start another Facebook group because I have a paid one where people pay whatever $5 to $30 a month to be in it. Hang on, sorry, I've got Ziggy here today.
That's okay. Just ask your question. Yeah, he's fine.
Hang on, Ziggy. Yeah, so I'm kind of reluctant to start another Facebook group. I find it hard enough to keep up with Facebook. How would you approach that if you've already got a Facebook group that's kind of already pretty low cost? I mean, it's a bit different because they pay me money every month.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'd be looking at questions first. I'd be asking, well, how much coming in from that every month?
Ziggy, $1,500 US every month from 150 people.
Wow. So you've got 150 people paying you.
I mean, I have 205, but 50 elapsed, and it's like I need to contact them about their cards and things, and I just haven't, to be honest.
Yeah. So what I'd be looking at is, rather than starting another Facebook group, I'd be going, like you said, straight to the next offer. And you've got 150 to 200 hot leads that, with the right understanding of your clients, I guarantee you, Sarah, like there are 5 to 10 people in there that would get you an extra 1 to 200K a year with the right offer.
So they are interesting. They pay $5 a month, $10 a month, but some of them will jump straight away if I offer a program. And it's so interesting because in my head they're not very high value, but they're just interested people. A lot of them followed me for 7 or 10 years, and that they keep telling me that's all they can afford. But every time I offer a $500 thing, they buy it. They're a bit weird like that. Yeah, I think there are some high value people in there, but I have had this sort of mixed feelings around Facebook. I'm quite addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like cigarettes for me, social media, especially.
So the key thing is to not, okay, number one, limit Facebook time. Number two, get that office space we were talking about. And number three is, regardless of what's going on with the office space, kids, and Facebook, you just need to have conversations with 5 to 20 of those 200 people, survey them, find out what they need. We can go deeper on that.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Every time, sorry, he was fine until I started talking. Every time I survey people, I do get a huge response, and then I get overwhelmed. But yes.
Okay. Put it. Yeah, I'm gonna just mute. So this is for you. Can you still hear me though, Sarah? Perfect. The number one thing here is this can't be happening. Like I understand kids and stuff like that, and it's Monday as well too, because I got on the public holiday and stuff. What you need and what your business is telling you it needs is the all in, all out. Like, even if, like, and I've done this, I did it for on and off for 4 months, going from Adelaide up to Sydney, what was it? Mullumbimby, Byron, Sunny Coast. It was a lot. But I did it from the car, different places, cafes, the laptop lifestyle it's not that fun. Okay. But like, even if you can borrow somebody's dinner table for like 5 hours, 3 days a week. This is great for anybody else watching, even though she's got her hands full.
You cut out there, Richie.
Can you hear me, Richie?
Yeah, I just took a pause because I was kind of just laughing at not at you, like just
I
at
think
the
you just
situation.
broke my really expensive printer. Oh my god.
Wow. So notice this, guys.
I haven't got support for this coaching program. Chris knows I'm on the call and he won't take the baby. So it's a bit
yeah. So I'm gonna yeah. All right. So just if you can listen, grab him, grab Ziggy, grab him, chill him out. Put that baby. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's happy there. And so, whether it's I'm homeless and I've got to be in different B&Bs, it's tired, sick, whatever it is, kids, it's like we still have to find a way. And sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it is stretching and stressful, but at some point, one of my mentors, Alex Scharf, and he builds, multi-million-dollar teams, right? And the key thing he says, one of the key things he talks about is, as entrepreneurs, we tolerate way too fucking much. Like, what we can get done under extreme, copious amounts of stress, challenge, and adversity, it's a great badge to wear, but it does come at a cost. Whether it's like, it could just be all right, I need to look after myself more, or it can affect negatively. Like, there is a cost for being so amazing, yeah? Like, you've got to pay the price one way or the other. And why pay the price for things if you could just pay a price in a different way? Like, what if not getting the office space is costing you $1 million a year? And a lot of the time we go, I don't have the money yet, or I don't have certainty yet. And so we wait. And the key thing, and this was from your one-on-one session, Sarah, is stop waiting. Become the cause. Become like, that's why I'm like, hey, whether it's COVID, whether it's moving house, whether it's kids, it's toughening. Like, this is the part because to get to a scale point in your business, we've got to toughen like a spaceship can't break orbit unless it's like made of really tough shit. Yeah. Is it coming through? All right, great. Yeah, cool. It's like we're going from startup into launch, and to break orbit, you've got to be tough, resilient, to be able to go into that next long, deep space, the longer game. And so, of course, there's going to be all of these catastrophes and challenges because it's like, do you really want it? And it's going to harden you because deep space and or a long voyage or a plane, whatever it is, any type of long journey, like you think about childbirth, what a woman has to go through and what a couple have to go through to get to the point where the child's born. Because once the child's born, it's a whole, look what's going on. It's a whole nother game, right? And so it's just about, the more responsibility we can hold. Sometimes some decisions just need to be made and you work it out. If we waited until things were perfect, there wouldn't be any kids. And I think and this is super important, especially for you, Sarah, and any other parents watching this. Whenever I start to get scared about, I don't know if I can do this because it's bumping up, this is tough for me, I go, I have kids. If I can make myself responsible for them, I can pretty much work anything out. Even if you don't have kids, you can have this outlook that you've left a job or you've started a business, that you keep on having new and more responsibility, and it's going to be scary. But if you are forced to make a decision, then you have to work it out, don't you? And if it's a thing that's going to make you an extra couple $100,000, do a garage. Like if you didn't have the money, do a garage sale, get a loan, borrow it from somebody. You don't have to go to the bank. Like just if it's like 1 month. That's why I say to clients, when you get started, you just need to get started for the first month. Yeah, like take the first step and go hard, like all in for 30 days, and you'll make your money back, and then you'll have more. And that's why get the office space. That's the whatever it is you need or that the business needs to go to the next step. We're in the program called Growth. Take the step to grow, and then you'll be stretched, and then there'll be a breakdown, and then there'll be a hardening and a strengthening, and then you'll be like, thank you. We got to the next level, the next stage. Like it's like a game like that. Is that making sense? Great. Because I know it's a fine line to walk and to explain this so that it's not come across as like, toughen up, pussy. Because it's not that. It's not at all that. This is business is like mental UFC, right? Okay, like it's tough shit. It's not, there are things to overcome that internal war. So just find the thing that'll make the most difference. And for Sarah, it's literally print out every person's name. Like if you have 150 to 200 paying clients, I would get to know them. I would build a relationship deeper with them all, bit by bit. I'd space it out over 90 days. I know I could talk to people that are like, I wouldn't even need new leads. It's probably $1 million there, at least $500,000, like, and people that need your help. Like I said, the people that are already paying you on some level, get them some more results. Give them a bit of extra value. Show them, you could even run like a private group call just for paying members. You already got the Patreon, like maybe it's trainings on videos, but it's like run a bonus one there, and then see who wants the one-on-one. There's a very simple sales strategy. You just need a 6 or 12-month program there that's like 10, 20 grand for the year. And that comes down to knowing the key problem you're solving, which is why you need to talk to people. Whether it's astrology, sexology, numerology, or I don't know, finance stuff. That one didn't rhyme, but you get the point. Marketingology. So salesology, I don't know. You get it. That it's as soon as John, same with you, Paige, with the last round of things that you solved, as soon as you were like, that's the problem I solve. Who's got it? I solve it. Let's chat, connected, paid. That's it. It's just like a broken window. Got a broken window? I fix windows. How much? Here you go. Done. Then we start looking at, is it a premium window glaze? Okay. So then you don't have to compete, because why compete with people if you can have your own niche? Because then you can be the expert in your field and charge what you want. Kidology. Fantastic. And Paige, yeah. So what's your priority sales-wise, and what's any block?
Priority, I think, for me is still going to be lead generation. So I'm thinking of doing a freebie in relation to my content for next week, so to attract actual interested people, and obviously increase every list we were just talking about as well. But main priority is just content, trying to get my content out every day, to get the leads, to get the conversations going, because that's always the main focus I've been having for my program at the moment. And then obviously getting to the point of sales, short calls.
Like, if you'd rather talk about it privately, that's okay, because I don't know what it is. What's holding you back? What's making it hard?
I think for me, over the last week, I was getting clearer and clearer on what I was selling, like what you were just saying around that clarity. As soon as I got really clear on the uni program, I could sell it instantly because I knew exactly who I was talking to and knew exactly what I was offering. Whereas over the last week, I've kind of been getting a bit clearer on what content people are interested in, as well as what I found people were struggling about. And as soon as I released that burnout post, I was like, I think I hit something here. Like, it was really easy to write. People were engaging, conversations were coming in, and I was like, maybe burnout is kind of the word I was looking for my content, to get a clearer perspective on what I was selling. So I think from the last week's experience, I've kind of been like, maybe the program's more targeted for people with burnout. So that's what I'm going to be exploring over the next week, getting like so clear on what the actual offer is, so that I don't have this like confusion on who I'm meant to be talking to.
Is the confusion still there?
I think by more and more posts and more conversations, I'm getting clearer. I don't know if it's fully there, but it's definitely closer than I was last week.
Fantastic. Okay, so a couple things. You will never be fully clear.
Yeah.
There will always be another corner. And get excited for that, because it means you'll get better at your craft, rather than, it's not clear again. It's like, great, like good. Like when I'm like, man, I think I'm sick again, I'll be like, fuck's sake. And I'm like, good. Get healthier. Get to learn how to do what I do even better. That kind of thing. Be more efficient. Obviously something for me to learn here. Great. I'm going to be able to leverage that and generate more income and solve more problems because of this confusion. And outside of that, does that make sense? It's, first of all, there's the mindset. It's the attitude, like, great. And I guess where I pull my attitude, other than just, being awesome, it's that the NLP is about having an attitude of excellence. Yeah. And the way to have an attitude of excellence, NLP is a communicational structure. And what we have externally is a reflection of what we're communicating internally. And if we're internally, the more we can communicate with ourselves with excellence and make that the habit, then we see it more and more outside. And that's where the clarity is coming from within you. And what I would suggest, a bit of like every now and then I get to see around corners for clients, is because I've seen people go down the burnout path, and I'm here to save you a bit of time. This program's here to save you time, which you saved a bunch of time already. Is we've covered now. Remember how long it took before we got to the point. It's like, okay, come on, like, is it this offer or is it that offer? And like that thing there, when you made that decision, things got easier. But totally. It was scary to make that decision. Yeah. So I think the decision here now is also, it's still in the small things. Like if you want extra clarity, it's decide. You don't need to ask the market this. It's decide these women, females that you're helping, business owners or in a job. Not both. Because, single mum at home, whether she's, got a husband, not single, but like whether single mum at home with kids, obviously mums have kids, but you get the point. Like what I'm trying to say here, whether she's got money or not, being at home versus being in a business, or if they're in a job versus being single, like not working versus in a business, like there's really fundamental core differences in terms of traits and interests and inner communicational structure. Yeah. And think about what your nervous system, inner structure and excellence level and all of that stuff, right? That do you want to be dragging people across the line to pay and get a result? Or do you want to be like what we're doing here? It's like, hey, I see this, and this, fix one of them and you'll get a 20x return. And then for you, again, how we've been talking about like, I'm just not feeling it. It's hard. I've got whatever it is. That's one way to look at life. It's like, yeah, I got it. It's great. Pain in the ass, but fucking, I'm learning things. It's great. It's not to say I don't have a whinge every now and then, right? But you get the point. What if when it comes to being in business, look, can you guys hear me? Let me just check. What did you get so far? I just want to know what it lagged there, Paige. What did you get?
Yeah. I understand the point that I need to get clearer on the offer, but I don't feel like I always say that.
Yeah, that's why you're in the hot seat right now. It's what's the key decision you haven't made yet that I've just mentioned and gone, hey, this will save you 3 months.
Yeah, I need to pick who I'm targeting. I think it's like for me, I'm telling myself I can work with enough clients to know who my target market is. So I'm like spreading myself out just in case.
Yeah. Okay. Write that down. Is she a business owner? Is she in corporate / 9 to 5? Is she, part-time or stay at home? And I put it all like to you to decide kind of right now. This is the big shift that I've gotten for everyone that's sort of been building a thing like with John. It was like, is the single mom, like you can help her with free content and cheap stuff later. You know, how many of them can really, like, is she the ideal client for you? And think about everyone's concept of burnout here. Everyone's got a different type of burnout. Just like, you know, for John, it's like everyone's got a different type of relationship. And this is the piece that hasn't fully landed for Sarah as well, that wants to come through, but she needs the space physically and internally, even just an hour with me again, a decision of what's the problem my ideal client has. And if it's burnout, think about this. Do you want to talk about burnout? Because everyone talks about burnout and it will get you hits, but it might get you the single moms who are like, oh, I'm just so burnt out. If you don't, but you did write some stuff there around, like, I got the sense, I'm just remembering vaguely from, like, it was an amazing post that it was like, I was wondering, I was like, is this for business owners? Because if it is, like, that's exactly what female business owners need, is rather than getting out of burnout, they need more energy. This whole conversation, you know how I said the ultimate strategy is energy? Like, this whole call is content for you, Paige, in a way. If you don't have anything to talk about, just watch this again, reframe it in your own words. There's a 3 to 6 months worth of content. You just tailor it to your program. But it's really just, hey, like, do you want to work with people in jobs or businesses? Like, who's more likely to invest in themselves with you?
I think I know I can remember the day where I went back on what I said, because from the start I was like, it's always going to be for business owners, and that was what I wanted the program to be about, because I knew business owners were so, like, for myself, and usually we create programs that we've been through, is that I was prioritizing business all the time, and there was no program to focus on you. There was a lot of business coaches out there, but there was no coaches for people that felt like, anyway. And then I remember the day that,
Hey, Paige.
Yeah.
Business owners or people in jobs?
Business owners.
Hey?
Business owners.
Yeah, cool. And I think this is why it's so important. It's like, are they in startup, growth, scale? Are they making $2,000 a month, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100? Are they 7-figure business owners? Like, what are you, right now, who would you love to be working with that you can get a result for?
The startup.
Okay. And do people in startup need help with that? People in startup need sales.
Yeah.
They need to deal with, oh, I'm burnt out. It's like, get a job then. You're not burnt out. This is business. Most of the time, you know what I mean? Like, some people do get burnt out. Like, it can burn you out. I've been there. But you get the point that that's the misconception to get away from, of the burnout trap. It's like, you're not burnt out. You haven't even made 10 grand yet. You you couldn't, like, you might be burnt out, and I'm being a bit obnoxious here, but it's to trigger in a way that it's like, no, like, crack multi 6 figures and then see how you feel, and then see what the journey to a mill's like. Like, it's a never ending journey, but I think the key thing here is changing the story for people who are beyond startup, that no, you've got more energy than you thought you could ever have. You just don't realize it because of your stories. You're not in burnout. If you tell yourself you are, you will be. That's the key message from this whole conversation today. It was, you see how that all connects with, like, the rant at the beginning? Like, yeah, we might be tired, but tired, sick, unwell versus I can't show up, they're night and day. That's night and day. And I think that with Misery Loves Company and the whole woke movement at the moment of, like, oh, you know, treat yourself, self-care, like, all of that, it's a money-making scheme. It keeps, like it's not help people with their stories. And, you know, I'm the self-care guy. I love self-care. Right? So I'm giving you more than you may be aware of here. I'm not sure, because I know you, like, there's a huge shift in perspective. Like, you've kind of like, you know, if you say you're the money guy or the money girl, you're going to have shit happening with your money. If you say you're the relationship guy or girl, you're going to have shit happening with your, if you say you're the energy or the burnout coach, right, you're going to have shit happening there. And if you grab that crown, grab it with both hands. And I know I'm not being too direct. I'm saying it directly. It's like, Paige, I think that's why you got on the call today. It's why you guys are here, especially. It's, you're not burnt out. You don't need to go and distract yourselves. You have more energy and the ability to focus than you realize. You have so much potential if you just sat in the chair and did it and believed in yourself that you could do it. Because how you feel versus what's possible has been proven to be totally different, like millions of times statistically. But some people just want to be like, oh yeah, it's okay, you can't do it. And I get it. Sometimes I feel like that. But I'd say at least if we can get to 51%, like that's the bare minimum overcoming that. You know what I mean? No worries, Sarah. All right. That thing around night and day, Paige, I think that's the key message. What's your, like, if you could speak it back in your own understanding, like almost like you grab that key message there around energy of, like, you know, you're burnt out or you're tired. Like, it's a huge difference. That would be the thing that if you can get a client, when you get one person, one business owner to have that shift, because you'll need to have this shift for them to have it, you can charge them 5 to 10% of whatever they're making, easy, because you'll help them double, 10x, 100x their productivity. It might take a lot of rapport to have this like you and me have a lot of rapport. You know, if I said this to someone I just met, they might punch me in the face because it could upset them that much. Like, you saying that, you know, that's why it's like a long chat. But yeah, what's the takeaway here for you? The $1 million question.
I don't know, to be honest, I just wrote down, are you burnt out or tired? And I was just like, there's a content piece I need to write right now.
Yes.
That's pretty much
Well done.
where
That's it.
That's the target.
Yeah. It's not to say, like, after this call, I might feel like I've got all the energy in the world. I might not push all day, though. I'm not going to keep going at this rate all day. Why not? If I'm going to show up, I want to bring my best. And if I said I'm going to show up, then I will. So I think, yeah, this whole call kind of builds a course for you for the next year. And we can go deeper on it, but that piece of content there, sharing that and speaking to people about that will integrate it and heal it for you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that's going to be a game changer for you for what's coming through. John, you got something to say, mate?
Yeah, bro. Get up and put myself off mute, bro. Come on. So what the key takeaway for me is like, check the bait that got the catches in the first place. I don't keep changing my bait over. Like, if squid worked. I don't need to change to prawns or crab or something else or a lure. It's like, squid worked. Just keep using the squid. Just keep folding the squid differently on the hook. It works. So I know I get into the habit of, like, keep on changing my bait. It's like, it's not what I'm fishing for. And the other thing that really stood out for me was that there's people that I can just send things to. I don't need to always wait for permission. I just do the thing. And which really speaks to what's been going through me at the moment. It's like Grant Cardone's methodology of just, you can't lose a sale. Like, you just do the thing, just do it. whatever's there. And it's like it's big part of the nurture cycle. You know, you can always repair a conversation. You can always go back and, you know, what happened for you there? Like survey in enrolling people into whatever it is that you're doing. So just moving all this preconceived notion. Oh, and the crown. I'm going to be a relationship relationship coach. All my relationships are going to come up with stuff. So it's like, all right, cool. Crown myself the king of relationship issues and invite it all. Like, yes, I'm gonna master this shit in this lifetime. So may as well embrace it, you know?
Yeah. I love that. That's why I like saying, I've just gone business coach. I just go with that these days, coach consulting. Because if I'm like, I'm a, mindset coach for business, and it's like, all right, you're asking for a lot. Like, what are you helping with? I just help people grow fast. I don't want to say too much more than that. It's a big fucking crown to wear. Like, like any crown is big because not many people will want to, and the people like you've got to earn it, and then you've got to earn to keep it. Like with great power, great responsibility, there's a duty to being the leader, and it doesn't seem to level out. It seems to increase each day because of growth. Fantastic. So I wanted to check as well. I mean, if you Paige, I would seriously just jump off and go in action that post. John, do you have to bounce or you got a sec?
No, man, I got a sec. And I just wanted to say, bro, I just sent someone a link to my group and they just joined it.
You just invited them? Is that what you did?
They asked me a question. They're like, John, are you okay if I keep reaching out to you with questions? I said, look, do it in my private group. You can ask me all the questions that you want. Did it.
And that's how you create content, Paige. Create a group, put them in there. Hey, what don't you know? What do you want to know? They're the test market.
It's hot. That's hot. So hot.
Yeah. So there's a method to this madness, and it's called the organic strategy. I learned it from Ellie, and it's just, you can't really pinpoint how it works, but when you're doing a few of the things, it's like it just starts to turn over, almost like a car's got multiple pieces. Like a computer's got different pieces of hardware. You might be able to pull out one or two, and it might still kind of work. You have them all in there on some level, it works really well, even at a base level. Yeah. Alrighty. Paige gonna boot you. Go and thank you. Well done. And you're you're right exactly where you are meant to be. You've got an epic program coming to life here.
Great. Thank you. I'll be talking to you.
Yeah. Be kind to yourself and have fun with it. All right.
Thank you. See you.
Yeah. I'll leave this. I was going to check. You had some objections and stuff. We didn't end up going deeper on it. And I kind of covered it actually in the chat, in the group around sales stuff. I can't even remember what it was, but you're good there? Or? Yeah,
man. Yeah, I'm good. Like, I called the guy on the weekend and he didn't answer his phone. And for me, it was just like, just send him a text. And that felt really good to me. And I know he's the kind of guy that he knows that I'm in. He knows. And there was something in that commitment and being able to put that money down. And also the freedom of being able to say, you know what, like I'm not attached to you working with me or not. I'd love you to. But I've got people that are lining up to either have short calls with me and that want to they can see my value and I don't need to hustle for my value. So that worked out well for me, Rich.